Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great weekend. This is Matt over at Milestone Capital Growth Portfolio.com. Today is Sunday, May 15th. All right. I want to take a look at the markets ahead of this upcoming week so you can plan properly and just using technicals, no fundamentals. We've had a great 3 days down. This is a daily chart here. We've had a great 3 days down, a pretty powerful move. Also, I did hit my target on Friday, which was absolutely awesome. Anybody who follows me on WhatsApp, you could see on the newsletter how from last Friday to this Friday, the performance was on all the options trades that I called on WhatsApp. Also, the compounding sheet starting with $1,000. We're into our fifth trade right now, and that's a little over 378% when the target is 30% really. So that's even working out well. The market conditions with the technicals are really falling in line with everything that I use for charting and setting my alerts and so on and so forth. So, really taking a look ahead, it's looking a little weak, but I do think we're going to get a little bit of a bounce in the market come Monday, and then it's going to retrace to the downside unless we don't get follow through. You can see the EMA 10 on the daily was pretty much resistance, and once that was really solidly broken, it epically failed and sold off pretty hard for the rest of the afternoon, which was fantastic for my weekly options and also my longer trade options that some of my leaps that are on that sheet. Um, that's on the newsletter that you can take a look at. The tickers aren't on there just because I usually use the same ones, and I don't. Uh, I'd rather not have the tickers that I use out there. Um, but if you'd like to follow, make sure you join WhatsApp and you can follow me. Try it for a month, see what happens. It's a great. You get a great tracking form also with a compounding sheet. Um, so so it's worth a shot anyway. All right. So the reason I'm calling for a bounce right here, real quick, is if I drop this down to the hourly, you can see we're back down to the 30 area for being oversold using RSI 10. And again, this is the hourly, just so you know. And you can see our trend line is pretty much solid to the downside right now. It's definitely not in an uptrend. So any bounce, this would be the area for a reset. As you can see, that's what it created here. Then it tried bouncing a little bit here, and that line was resistance again. And I do believe, we had a low here. We came back in the Bollinger Band, and potentially we can make it up to this EMA 10, which will be resistance, or make it up to this trend line right here, and that would be resistance. If we do break over the trend, then we have to manage the upside, which would be this double top right here. And if it's going to be a full breakout, then we'll probably go up to the upper Bollinger Band, and which will be this top over here. But the relative strength index should only get up to 70 and reset. But what I'm looking at is the first target is going to be this 10, and from Friday's close, you're looking at maybe if we plan this properly, this will probably be over here somewhere. So about 80-cent move, gap up in the morning, and then maybe a push, and then it can continue to the downside. Looking at the weekly, something very important that you want to take note of is an ugly weekly candle, and but we did close over the EMA 10, which has acted as support, throughout this rounding move to the upside. If this does break, then we have the middle Bollinger Band here, which is going to be very important. Now, based on the charts, you could see here we have a pattern just glancing, and we'll go back to the daily actually, just glancing at it. You can see a head and shoulders pattern has developed, and I've set it up on another chart here that you can really take a look at, and with this head and shoulders pattern, here's your upper trend line, here's your support line here, which is just based off this final candle here, and this line here is based off your uptrend line right now. So we're still on an uptrend line, but we're very close to breaking on the daily, and so it's very important to keep an eye on this, what kind of follow through we're going to get. So once this breaks, we have the line in the sand at 203.11. If 203.11 breaks, then we have lower gaps that we'll probably be catching down here at 186, 177. There's a gap. But we're gonna have to see if we're gonna get followed through for an epic failure, or we're gonna come up, get a bounce here, and then come down. But the head and shoulders pattern is in place on a solid downtrend. This would be considered an uptrend. If you have this here and then here, and then if this one broke to the upside, then you'd be just continuously beautiful. But we did reverse, and we're starting to use this pattern now. So make sure we follow that. And you can also see here that if you're looking at these box trades that we have that have developed. This is weekly, monthly, and daily. This is Don, one of our members, really does a follow through on this, and you can see it once a 203 breaks, so we're pretty much coming. We can get down to this 196.33 for the next line in the sand support. So these are basically just daily, weekly, and monthly boxes. Um, that consolidation boxes that we follow with this head and shoulders pattern developed. Another reason that I'm saying that there's probably going to be a bounce is we follow the S&P 500 calls and puts. You can see the calls is a green line, puts is the red line, SPY is the black line. You can see the calls has increased quite a bit, and the puts have started to diminish. So everybody looking at the calls on Friday is expecting some kind of bounce in the market. Typically, when this line goes up, that's what happens, and this line comes down, that's what happens, and vice versa for that. If the red line starts turning to the upside, then we're getting close to the top, and the green line starts coming down. So it's a great tracker for you if you do track calls and puts on the S&P 500. It falls in line with basically some of your technicals. So keep an eye on this for sure. Look for that bounce, and if you want to follow my trades, I just use technicals. I don't use any fundamentals, and I just trade options. Why? Because they're very, very lucrative. So we had a perfect week last week. No losses, not one loss out of 15 or so trades. Hopefully, that streak continues with new alerts being put out on Monday, because most of everything is closed except for some of my leaps. So I'll be starting a whole new fresh batch come this week. So make sure you give us a try. And if not, you can become a silver member and hang out with us in the chat room all day long. Just go to milestonecapitalgrowthportfolio.com and join today as a silver member, and it'll direct you right into the chat room. Have yourself a fantastic weekend and a great upcoming week. Good luck to everyone.